Hi, my name is Risa DeMonteverdi, and I will back up her initial claim, Beverly's initial claim that the amount of funding should be raised for cloning research. I'd like to extend some points on that. Her first point was that many people are at a disadvantage without extensive knowledge of cloning due to the lack of funding. Firstly, cloning is part of humans' ability to adapt to life through technology. According to the book Cloning by Tamara L. Roloff, people who are against cloning decide that people who are for cloning are kind of like playing God and like messing around with everybody's cells and whatnot. However, it's these same people who objected to ideas such as anesthesia, smallpox inoculations, contraception, heart transplants, and in vitro fertilization. And these are all used today, showing that cloning can also be one of the ideas used on the path to medical breakthrough. Also, cloning can aid disease research, as Beverly said earlier. According to the same book, each cell with a nucleus in the human body contains a full complement of all the genes. Some genes are activated and others are turned off. And by studying these genes in embryonic stem cells derived from a patient with a specific disease, scientists may be able to understand the genetic basis of that disease. In addition, cloning is beneficial to those who suffer from infertility. I also mentioned that earlier. According to the Human Cloning Foundation, many couples run out of time and money without successfully having children. Also, there was an article in the CBS News from February 2009, and it estimated that there are 12 million infertile Americans, so cloning could be beneficial to this large amount of people. Her second point was that without increased cloning funds, we may not be able to fully exploit its benefits. She talked a lot about cosmetic surgery and stated that, I'd like to add to that saying, from articleswave.com, it states that it may be possible for doctors to perform reconstructive surgeries on people from accident victims, people who were in car crashes and traumatic incidents, as well as people who are amputees and have cut off limbs and such. Also, cloning would be extremely beneficial in regards to organ transplantation. In the same article from articlewaves.com, it says that in organ transplantation, cloning technology may help millions of people get a new lease on life. They will no longer need to wait years for a donor, because as we all know, if you're not at the top of the list, you're going to be waiting for forever. And the possibility of immune response to the transplantation may also be eradicated, meaning that you probably would be more compatible if your cells are cloned. Her third point was that if we increase funding for cloning research, we can expand our knowledge in various medical subjects. Cloning can help with stem cell research, as Beverly said, and according to the book Cloning by Tamara L. Roloff, the embryonic stem cell cloned from a cloned embryo can be used to create pancreatic cells for curing diabetes, as well as even entire new organs. Also, stem cells are responsible for developing and maintaining and repairing the body throughout life. As a result, they might be used to repair damaged or diseased organs or tissues. And researchers are currently looking forward to cloning as a way to create genetically defined human stem cells for research and medical purposes. This is from the National Center for Research Resources. Also, defective genes can be fixed with cloning research. According to the book Ethics in Law and Biological Research, the use of cloning to allow women affected by disease to start pregnancy in a genetically risk-free condition, because she would get an egg cell from a donor who was healthy. Now I'd like to respond to Chris's refutations. He talked about how it wasn't beneficial for, cloning was not beneficial for us. He talked about cloning a dog, however, we're cloning humans. But I have a point that says, according to the book Cloning a Beginner's Guide, scientists have successfully cloned cats, rabbits, rats, horses, and deer, and they've even cloned a mule and Dolly, which is a sheep. And they cloned a mule, which is a sterile animal resulting from the mating of a male donkey with a female horse, showing that cloning can replicate animals that could not possibly breed naturally. And he talked about the failure rates. However, though cloning has failure rates, there are other people who have lived healthy lives, and it's true that some cloned animals are born with a wide range of abnormalities, but by and large, animals that develop to term and survive a few days after birth go on to live reasonably healthy lives. And this is also from the book Cloning: A Beginner's Guide. Chris also talked about the rejection of gene cell therapy. However, if we have increased funding, it would provoke research for this kind of it would provoke research for cloning and to alleviate rejection of gene cell therapy. And in addition to the funding, he said that there isn't enough, but we can use private funding. I have an article from Future Pundit, which is called "Stanford to Clone Human Embryo Using Private Funding." Stanford has accepted a $12 million anonymous donation to form an institute to study stem cells and cancer cells. Some of that money will be used to clone a human embryo to use as a source of embryonic stem cells, showing that people out there are willing to donate money to provoke research in the stem cells as well as cloning, so we wouldn't have to worry about that.